sans dire à tout.
What is going on, jerk faces? It's your boy Andy, and you're watching Nocturnal Transmissions, brought to you by the Circle of Jerks podcast. It's a conversation you could be having during the day, but having at night. Yes, we're back and for another episode of Nocturnal Transmissions, and co-hosting with me, as usual, is the homeboy Rob.
Yo.
All right, so we are good. We're gonna get into a little bit of the thick of it. This episode. So let's just get this conversation started. But before we get into the really weighty stuff, let's get through our pleasantries. And so, Rob, how was your weekend?
Weekend was pretty decent. What did I do? Oh yeah, I worked most of the weekend, but I hung out with some of my youth students at church on Saturday. Got a chance to play some games with them, and we had a good time. Kind of getting to know them a little bit better, and me playing games. That's always something I enjoy doing. So. It was fun. I got although we were playing on the Nintendo Switch, so we were playing some Mario Kart, some Super Smash Brothers, and
that's funny because I was playing some Mario Kart on Sunday myself.
Nice, yeah. We played some Mario Party, and holy crap, I got my ass handed to me. It sucked, which is I don't know. I need to. I don't know if I'm losing skills as a gamer as I get older or or what. But then again, I also don't play those games very often. So maybe if I had a little bit more time to mess with stuff and practice, maybe I could get good, bro.
Right.
Speaking of games, though. To share with the audience a little bit, for Christmas I got a gift card for to Best Buy, and so I bought a few games myself. One being which came out today was the Kingdom Hearts 3. I got the deluxe edition. I've been waiting on this game for I think it was about 13 years. I think 2005 was when the last edition, or from the Kingdom Hearts 2 came out in 2005, and we've been waiting on Kingdom Hearts 3 since then. So I'm very excited to get into that this year.
Nice.
I mean, I'm grinning from ear to ear. I know, on Twitter, all my gaming followers have been talking about. It's like Happy Kingdom Hearts Day, and so I've been trying to stay away from it because I don't want to see some of the gameplay footage yet. I want to enjoy it myself.
I see.
And then and then next weekend we're gonna be doing some filming, and then Super Bowl.
Oh, that's right. Oh wait, is that this Sunday?
Yeah, the Super Bowl.
Oh dang, it's that quick already. Shoot.
And then after the Super Bowl is over, I'll be in hog heaven because my sports are coming back. So I'm very excited about that.
Oh yeah, baseball and
NASCAR are on their way back.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Yeah, you'll be as happy as a pig in slop.
Oh yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. As for myself, I had a pretty mellow weekend. Nothing really. I didn't do anything really big. Just stayed home, finished editing the latest Circle of Jerks podcast episode, and got it all ready for upload. And yes, if you haven't checked it out, it is available for viewing. Just go to the Circle of Jerks podcast YouTube page, and you'll find it right there. I think I did make it the default video when you first get to the page, so it'll be right there waiting, ready to roll for you. as soon as you get there.
Thing came out pretty damn good.
Yeah, no, that was really that was a really good episode, and but not just in terms of the content, but also production. I was really pleased that I think I really gotten a handle on the sound and everything was just bang on. I didn't have to manipulate the audio not even a little bit. So yeah,
Yeah,
so the
you didn't have
audio
to
came out
rasp
like really
anything.
good and clean and yeah, and just yeah, everything production wise, I'm really happy with. I think we've really hit in our groove now, and so going forward, I think I'm really confident going forward.
Yeah, no, I kind of felt the same way. Like I kind of feel like now that we kind of have going through everything we went through last year, and then moving forward, I kind of with some of the goals that we all kind of came up with, what we wanted to do, and even after like last week, we were talking about some stuff that we might want to try to help like improve things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very, very excited for this year.
Mm. Word. Um, what else? Uh, yeah. What else? Well, for my at my church, we're thinking of starting or a new ministry is being planned out, specifically catered for those who are creatives or have an appreciation for doing creative things. And I don't know, I might be able to help out in that arena. Especially, and I'm especially encouraged because there are a lot of kids. There's a lot of younger people um, who showed up for just the information meeting, and a lot of them expressed desires to learn about like photography or video production and all these other sort of things. And these are skills that I do possess, and I think I might be of some use. And it just kind of goes to uh, the sense I've been getting, just certain realizations that I've had, and about my about me personally, and just like I'm definitely in a transitional stage in my life. I'm no longer a young man. It's kind of like that line in and I might get shit for this, but it's appropriate. But that movie, Starship Troopers, and towards the end of the movie, uh, the main the main character, he's put in charge of a unit, and it's right before like a big a big offensive, big operation, and they get reinforced. They get like all these new recruits, and they're basically kids. And he turns to one of his under subordinates, and oh man, we're the old men now. And it's I kind of had that realization myself, because I'm no longer a kid. I'm no longer a young man. I'm the old man of the group. I'm the one with the knowledge and the experience. And so, it might be time for me to transition into a mentor role. And I think this again, like the informational meeting that we had this Sunday just opened my eyes to it more.
I think that's a great way to maybe utilize your skills, because what you do, it's an important skill, especially in today's world. Like it's
Mm.
not and to be able to do what we are doing, and obviously we joke around, we have fun, at times very crass,
Mm-hmm.
but our faith is still very important to us. We do this to kind of to inspire and entertain and do all that stuff. And uh, you know, it, we've had like various different episodes. We've done the theology stuff. We've done kind of some of the Christian topics. Some of the things that Christians should be thinking about, or obviously stuff that we're going to be talking about today.
Mm-hmm.
And to be able to utilize your skills to pass on something to the new generation of Christians, I think is a great thing. And maybe that's kind of where God's leading you
Mm-hmm.
for this season. So I'm very excited, man.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot of, yeah. Because again, like a lot of like, especially like the young men, they, there are some that expressed interest in photography. And I know those guys, and during when we have like special events, or whatever, I would break out my camera and start snapping pictures, and then I kind of I turned them into like kind of like my like quote unquote interns, and I give them my camera and I go, oh, just go and start take pictures, and I think it's a good start, but I think now is a time to apply a little bit more accountability and oversight, and for me to be, take a more, active role in mentoring or guide, giving these guys some guidance.
Right.
So yeah, I think this may be one because because I actually used to be pretty involved in ministry. I know I haven't demonstrated for our podcast viewers, but I sing, and I used to be on our church's praise team, and I took a little bit of a hiatus, and when I started school, a few years back, but and I always said like, oh, I'll come back to it, but I just I never did. Partly because I also kind of told or maybe this is valid, and maybe this was just an excuse, but I told when people would ask me, oh, when are you gonna get back on the praise team? When are you gonna get back on the praise team? And I said, oh, it's not really my season right now, and there was a feeling within me that that wasn't like bullshit. I wasn't just saying that just to try to skirt responsibility or whatever, but it's just not my season. And also like I wanted to give an opportunity for someone else, particularly like the sisters. I would constantly encourage, because our praise team was like all dudes. The praise leader is a man. The drums, the bass, the electric guitar, they were all, it was all men. And I felt like at least, not to sound like one of those you know male feminist ally types, but I wanted our young women to be able to be highlighted and have kind of like pardon the pun, a voice.
You ally.
I know.
Are we gonna hear about like some rape allegations here coming up?
I know, right? Start the clock. No, but yeah, I mean. Yeah, for those of you not in on the joke, whenever a man comes out as a male feminist, you can start the clock on, you start the clock on when the rape allegation comes out against them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know, like that. Again, I understand how that sounds like a bunch of bullshit, but I really did feel that way, and I really was trying to encourage, the young women at my church to, kind of step up. Because it's all, like, the praise team was all dudes. And, I'm not saying, I'm not saying I'm like this, feminist ally or whatever. But, I really thought it was important for our young women to have a voice. And, I mean, it took a little bit of doing, but, finally, yes, there are, some women members on our praise team, and praise be to God for that.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome, Andy.
Yeah.
I'm very excited that, and I hope that you taking part in that type of ministry will be very fruitful.
Me too. All right. Well, now that I think that that opener was a good I guess vaccine to what the kind of the unpleasantness that we have to
I know
get
we're
into.
dragging our feet right now because
Yeah, I know we're like, oh, like happy, like, no, don't take us. We're right now we're in the light and like slowly like we're being dragged in the darkness. But it's important things that we have to talk about. Do you want to start? You want to start it off, or do you want me to?
I'll let you start, Andy.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's been. I think it's been a. I think it's been a week since this news came out, but
Yeah, it was right after. I think it was like the day after the live stream that we did last week.
last
It was
week's
last week,
episode.
like
Yeah,
Wednesday.
it was. Yeah. So so the state of New York just passed a bill allowing for abortion, well beyond the 24 weeks, kind of standard that was set in the past. And, like, I don't know why, to use the euphemism abortion is so, so disingenuous, but, I'm not going to say the what it really is because, I don't know if I'll be able to, contain my anger, but, and the wording of this bill is so nebulous because they didn't say, you could abort the baby, you could abort the baby, in case, for the mother's life. They used the very, what was it, indefinite and nebulous term of health. Yeah, exactly.
Like the health.
The health of the mother, which again is very nebulous and ambiguous and you know is not it's it's like it undefined because what does that really mean? Because it's like, oh, does like if the baby, if carrying this baby gives you gives the woman back cramps or whatever, that that technically falls underneath health. So can the mother abort the baby because of back pains? Or if she has or at it if she works at a job that she's standing up and like carrying that extra weight of the baby causes her to have pain in her feet. This
Yeah, it's specifically written very ambiguously, and the thing that was it Matt Walsh was talking. Well, a lot of people have been talking about this, but Matt Walsh, the way that he was describing it, I think, is at that point in the pregnancy, or whatever the left wants to call it, for you to abort the baby at that point, you still technically have to give birth, whether it be to a live or dead baby. So why is it necessary for it to be aborted at that point? What if? And even the thing is, if you don't want the child, there's so many people that want that child. Even if it's not their own. I mean, it'd be for infants. It's a line out the door that isn't
Right. Yeah. I
going to be
mean, because
satiated anytime soon.
infants are the easiest ones to set up for adoption. Because everyone wants to have a baby. Everyone wants to have a baby. So I mean, and it's like why can't you put it up for adoption? And then I think kind of the counter to the whole adoption thing is like, oh well, the system is so messed up, and the kids will how am I to know that the kids will be treated right or go to good homes? And it's like well, what do you care? Because what do you care? Because your other option is killing the baby. So what do you care if the baby if it doesn't go to a good family or gets lost in the system or whatever, like because you were killing it. So why do you all of a sudden care like what kind of life it has without you? And
Yeah,
I think given the option of abortion, I think the baby would be better without you.
pretty much.
And I
The
know you guys are thinking it's like, oh, how can you guys be so cruel? It's like it's like we adoption is like the most compassionate option on the table.
right.
I don't know how someone doesn't see that. It's
It,
it.
the crazy thing is, and to me, what I found to be the most disturbing, which is where I mean, it's already you know bad. And to me, I think it's an evil practice. But the thing that to me, where it's like true evil has really taken over, is the fact that based off of everything that they're saying, all the let's for the sake of on their side of the argument, the left side of the argument, all this stuff. Oh, it's for the mother's health and to protect her life and all the the
Yeah,
platitudes that they
yeah,
throw
all
out
the
there.
good, all the quote unquote good things that it's trying to accomplish.
Something like this should be a somber moment, right? Yeah, it's like it's not.
Yeah, I know what you're going. I know where you're going with this, but yeah, go on.
But the fact that, and it shouldn't be something. It's like, yeah, okay, we passed this bill. It's a protect these women and to give them more options. To for this very for something horrible that's happening to their body or something that was done to them. Blah 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 blah. Okay, but the fact that it was not only was it not somber, but it was like a raucous cheer throughout the assembly, celebrating this type of this bill passing, or that it's that to me is just the sign of true evil. When you boo the things that are good and you celebrate and cheer evil, things that are fucked up.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's true. That's some Sodom and Gomorrah shit.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, that clip of once Governor Cuomo signed the bill, like the it's funny. It reminded me of Episode 3 of Star Wars. This that line's like, oh, this is how liberty dies with thunderous applause. But I mean,
Yeah,
switch out liberty and just uh, what would it be? This is how humanity dies with thunderous applause. Because it's like you know it's not it's like a part of it's like a part of the soul died that day. You know, it's just like you know uh because what is it? There was a report saying that Catholics are demanding that the Pope excommunicate Governor Cuomo for this,
which he should.
which he should. And it's just like like I don't know. I don't even know if is Cuomo or does Cuomo identify himself as a Catholic?
Yes, yes, he does.
Okay. Well, I mean, I can only imagine like that when he meets his maker, and an account of his life is given. This is gonna be a big thing, and he has to stand before he has to stand behind before the most high, and he has to make an account of for his actions. And I don't know, I don't know how he's going to, I don't know what he's going to say, or how he will be able to justify this.
Yeah, it's just, and I don't know whether it's, I don't want to say oh, certain people are evil or whatever, but because some of the words that come out of his mouth, I don't know whether it's ignorance or he knows exactly what the deal is, and he's just he's just doing it anyway because he doesn't care,
Mm-hmm.
or if it's just he's doing evil out of sheer ignorance.
Right? Yeah. Is it? Yeah. Sometimes you don't know if it's malice or if it's ignorance.
And in some cases, it's both.
Yeah. Sometimes it's both, and it's funny because he talks out of both sides of his he talks out of both sides of his mouth, because on one hand he claims that he'll denounce the president. Uh, he'll denounce the president for supposed immorality, for attempting to build a border wall. But yet at the same time he'll praise Roe versus Wade, which is, in my opinion, gross federal overreach. So I mean, so yeah, Governor Cuomo is talking out of both sides of his mouth, because on one hand he says that the federal government should not. I'm sorry. It was, I think, the federal government trying to step in and stop this bill. I don't remember. There's he mentions he referenced something about federal overreach, but then he applauds Roe versus Wade, which is a federal mandate, which is upheld by the Supreme Court, the federal government. So which is it? It's like should federal government stay out of state business, or should they get involved even more?
And that's where it's I don't think these people understand how government works, because or even what they want, because I'm all because let's say Roe versus Wade is taken out today, it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean that abortion is going to stop. All it does is that the states get to choose for themselves whether they allow it or not.
Right. It just if Roe versus Wade was repealed, the decision or the question of the legality of abortion would just be kicked back to the states.
Yeah, and that's the way it always should have been.
Right.
Yeah. Which, it's, and the stuff that these guys talk about, the way that they talk, it's wait a second, are you for more state power, or do you want more federal government power? You guys don't seem to be very consistent on the way that you handle things. So what the hell are you talking about?
Right. That's exactly right. Because when it's something that they want, they're all for yes, more federal government, yes. But if it's for things that they don't like, it's no, they should stay out of their business. What business do they have getting involved, or sticking their nose in, or whatever? It's just you can't have it both ways.
I hate to give her any sort of praise, but the only one who's actually been consistent, even in her ignoramus statements, is AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Because at least like she's honest with what she wants, and she sticks to like her. She's not doing a lot of doublespeak. I mean, she's an ignoramus, but it's like, but
Right?
these
Yeah.
other guys.
I mean, yeah. Credit where credit's due, even though it's completely absurd.
Yeah, no, everything that comes out of her mouth is just complete insanity.
Mm-hmm.
But she stayed consistent at least,
Yeah.
which is more than I can say about these other people.
Yeah, I mean, shocker of shockers that we're actually, giving props to.
That is about the only praise that you'll ever hear me give her.
Right?
But yeah, so for me, the real evil about it, other than the left is going to argue, well, no, that's not what it's about. Like it's really meant to be this. We're not just going to kill babies as often as possible, which actually, yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen. But yeah, the thing is, what's truly evil is to me is the celebration.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
they're lighting up the
Oh, yeah,
landmarks.
the World Trade Tower. Yeah, they like lit it up pink in celebration of this horrendous abomination of a law.
Yeah, and to me, I don't think it's a coincidence that it was like right after the March for Life. I
Right.
have
No, this was a big
no
fuck
doubt
you
in
to
my mind
them.
that was done specifically because of that.
Yeah, this is a big fuck you to them.
So I'm disgusted. I think that we're gonna have a lot to answer for when it comes time. I mean, other than continually praying for interceding on the behalf of people caught up in the middle of this, and that's about all I can do at the moment.
Right. No, it's crazy because the other day Steven Crowder, he had a returning guest, a former Planned Parenthood worker, and she had she was giving a lot of like behind the scenes of what they don't want you to know at Planned Parenthood. But there was the woman, she was recounting a story about like this this one person who was like, I don't know, I think testifying in front of Congress or the Senate, and they were asking her, it's like, oh, it's like, don't you want, it's like, don't you want, I thought, abortions were supposed to be, safe, rare, and safe, legal, and rare. But no, but like like the answer that this person gave was like, no, like it doesn't matter. Like even if basically if the woman even dies, it doesn't matter because as long as she has access to it, access to abortion. Uh, and I don't know about you, but that was fucking chilling, like to my bones.
I mean,
Did
because
you see it? You saw the video,
yeah,
right?
I watched the whole thing, but I remember her being on Crowder beforehand,
Right.
and I
Yeah,
remember
she was
her story.
she was a returning guest. Like she was on his show like way like before he made
like
the
3 or 4
move.
years ago.
Yeah. And yeah, it's just like, but then like that response, like no, it doesn't matter. Like even if she dies, as long as she has the access to it. And I'm just like, are you, yeah, and like the old refrain used to be safe, legal, and rare. Like the rare part, like it shouldn't be like common, and like now you have, like people, you have women like with the shout your abortions, and you have like, the Michelle Wolf say, if you need an abortion, get one. It's like,
yeah. Yeah, the thing for for people who are keep. I say, keep praying. For those of you who are against it, keep praying. I mean, that's, if there's an ability for you to vote against stuff like this, do it. Um,
Yeah. I
share,
mean,
talk about, like, go and see stuff like the Gosnell movie. Share that stuff.
mm,
Listen to the stories of these people who have left Planned Parenthood and talk about the horrors that behind the curtain.
that's right.
Share the stories.
Yeah, that woman that was on Crowder, she was actually she also actually was also there to plug a movie that she I think consulted on about like I think it was called Unplanned, and
Yeah,
yeah, it's all about like the abortion industry and just like stories from people who used to work um, at Planned Parenthood and at abortion clinics and things like that, and yeah, I mean.
yeah. Like I said, go out and support that stuff. Go watch that stuff. Share
Mhm.
those stories with people. And as Christians, don't be the crazy guy that's gonna bomb the building, because that doesn't help. But being because the people that are there are people too. Maybe they don't understand. There's probably a good chance that there's people there that don't understand the evil that they're taking part in, and they need prayer, they need love, they need to show, um, and that pray that their eyes are open to see the horrors that they're involved with, and yeah, like wherever you can, like support, kind of support this stuff and read up about it. And I pray for the day that this is no longer a thing. um
Mhm.
but yeah, I mean, it's you know we in history, World War One, we lost, and a huge, a generation of people were killed off, essentially. I mean, it was devastating to the world.
Mhm.
And through abortion, we've lost several generations of people who may have been you know beneficial to us, that their lives mattered and were extinguished. And I it's haunting to think about that.
Right. Absolutely.
We talk, and even like when we were talking with Daniel on a few podcasts ago, he talked about how the Holocaust, where with it was, I think, like a third or two-thirds of the Jewish population was completely wiped out through the
Mhm.
Holocaust. And so there's not really there's really not that many Jews left. And this is kind of the same thing where as bad as the Holocaust was in nearly wiping out an entire people group,
Mhm.
this is we're talking about what, like 50 to like 70 million children have been killed since you know since what would say since Roe versus Wade became a thing.
Mhm. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, I think last year or a couple of years ago, the birth rate, especially for black babies in New York City, was 50-50.
that's horrific.
Yeah, a black baby had just as much chance of being aborted as it was being born. As
Yeah, and not
much 50-50.
yeah,
It was a coin flip for black babies. A
yeah.
coin flip. Think about that. Really,
That's
really process that for a second. You
that
flip a
some
coin, and that was the chance for a black baby to be born.
that sounds like some Two-Face shit. Yeah,
I mean, kind of.
yeah.
But I mean,
The
like if that does not send a chill up your spine, I don't know what will.
That's the other thing too. For people who look at the history of Planned Parenthood, listen to the words of Margaret Sanger and what her goal was in starting this.
Oh, yeah.
And if that doesn't, maybe you're, and then go and look and where these places are, where these Planned Parenthoods are located.
Yeah, the majority. Yeah, just Google, just open up Google Maps and type in Planned Parenthood and just look at the neighborhood that those offices are located. Just tell me if tell me if you see one in Beverly Hills or like the Upper West Side in Manhattan or whatever.
Not very often.
Not very often.
But yeah.
So I'm done with this subject. You done with this subject?
Yeah, I want to take.
I'm just so you know, I'm laughing to keep myself from crying.
Yeah, it's I'm done. I can't. I'm gonna throw up if I talk about it anymore.
All right, on to the next little bit of news. It just broke today, so I don't think we have. I don't think we have a lot of the information.
No.
But why don't you lead it off, Robert?
Yeah. So, and let's preface it with this. It's similar to like what happened with the Covington kids from what was that? That was, God, was that like a week ago?
Yeah, that was last week too.
It feels like it was a month ago.
I know. But that was just last week. That was just like last week.
Fuck. It feels like it was like a month ago that this whole goddamn thing got started. Anyways, so you know how like everyone kind of jumped to like this crazy, jumped into conclusions, and kind of, that's the thing I don't want us to do with this story because, like you said, take 10 seconds, think, look at the facts that are coming through before coming up with anything. But, our opinion based off of this story, we're going off of potentially some, people not doing their journalistic duty. So, anyways, the story is there's a actor, I forget his name. He's on the show Empire. I've never watched the show, but I hear it's pretty popular.
Right, yeah.
And he's a black guy.
He's also gay. For those of you who were raised in the '90s, he was also in the Mighty Ducks. I think he played Jesse.
Oh, that's him?
Yeah.
Oh shit! I didn't know that.
Yeah,
okay.
Just so for all you '90s kids.
now I know who he is.
Yeah. But yes. Anyways, continue.
So he was it was in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it was late at night. Why you'd be out super late at night in that cold ass city is. Anyways, so apparently the story is he was assaulted by two other guys, got beat up pretty good. And now I don't know if he said this or if people started like trying to immediately make it quote unquote Trump supporters that were the ones that attacked him because he's a black guy, he's gay, so all the news reports and like his friends or friends from the show are saying that it was these MAGA hat wearing Trump guys that beat him up and
put a noose on him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So but the thing is, like, none of it's really been corroborated, for one. And here's the thing with these, it was MSNBC and some of these other news outlets. They're saying it's not like oh well, we don't have all the facts and here's the facts. Here's what happened. More details to follow as we get more in the story.
Right, as it
No, no, no.
develops.
Yeah, no, 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 none of that. Because their big journalisming is may have been Trump hat wearing guys. Might have been them.
Right.
It's like
I think
that's
because
that's
I
not
first
news
heard about it this
reporting.
morning through a friend who was watching MSNBC. I don't know why he was, but
Because he's a
but
masochist.
yeah, because he's a masochist. But he was saying like how like the anchors or like the reporters, they were saying like they were wearing "Make America Great Again" hats, maybe.
Yeah, that's not reporting. That's
That's
not
that's
anything.
yeah. That's you jumping. That's you jumping to conclusions and doing more damage than doing more damage than you are doing good. And
I mean,
that's okay. Okay,
it's
so he's in like
it's
this
Covington
guy's
all
in the
over you.
hospital. No one's discounting that he was attacked because he's in the hospital or whatever. But that one, like, why did like that one detail wasn't even corroborated? And I don't even know if it is able to be corroborated.
Right, and here's the thing too. Like if that was the case, if that did happen, so be it. That's what happened. We can't change that.
Right.
That's
I mean,
fine.
yeah. Again, if that happened, go find these guys, arrest them, put them in jail.
Yeah, right or wherever on the aisle that they lean on, right or left.
Yeah.
But even then, that doesn't make it doesn't make the hat racist, and two, Trump has nothing to do with it. It wasn't like he ordered them to go beat up this actor.
Yeah. It's not like they weren't like acting like the brown shirts. I mean, because they're just gonna say, oh, because of Trump's rhetoric and that. Well, what about all like the anti-white rhetoric that's going on? I mean, after because I was on my social media and someone someone I follow put up this entire rant about how like it's time for attacks in like subways or at or Skittles and clearly making a reference to like Trayvon Martin and Mike Brown and so on and so forth. Just basically calling for it's time it may not be all white people, but you white people have to start calling out your own and da 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 da. And I'm just like, are you freaking kidding me right now? Like, it's in because if a black man goes out and goes shoots up kills a white person, not, no one's calling for all black people to hold accountable for this one for that one black guy.
Yeah,
So it's just like absurd to say like all white people, you have to keep other white people in check. It's like, all right, then fine. All black people have to keep all the crappy black people in check. It's only fair. But of course not, because then like immediately say, oh, how dare you? He was a victim. It's like, well, that was one victim. Or like one perpetrator. One perpetrator does not represent the whole, and why should the whole then take accountability for the actions of one person?
like exactly like if there was let's say I got robbed by a black person, that doesn't mean that all black people are terrible. I don't think that way.
Right,
I
just
think
that one
robber
individual
is a
person
piece of
who
shit.
happened to be black was crappy.
Yeah, I feel like the person who mugged me is a piece of shit, but that doesn't mean that I think all black people are terrible. It's insane to think that way.
Right, and it's funny because like that person, that celebrity, he put out, cat's out of the bag to he, but he put out he put out another post praising J.K. Rowling, saying how like, oh, J.K. Rowling was taken off the Forbes billionaire list because she only lost that status because she gave so much to charity. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? She has like, yeah, liquid assets or liquid, like she's probably not a billionaire liquid, but she still has like several properties around the world, and she's been calling for people to take in refugees, but not holding up any not putting up any refugees in like her many different properties.
Yeah.
That's hypocritical. And then he's like saying like, oh, this is a great white, like he put like hashtag great white on it. I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
She's I would say pretty morally, kind of like low on the totem pole, like, because it's one of those things where she says all the the right things, but does none of it. Like it's
No,
that
exactly.
virtue signaling.
Yeah, it's like, oh yes, we should, back when like the whole like migrant thing was in full swing over there. She was saying like, oh, we have to accept these people. It's the humane thing to do, and how we have so much, so why can't we just share? I was like, all right, bitch, open up your like 5 mansions. You have one house that can hold like 30 people.
I would say like I still wouldn't agree with her, but if she actually did that, I would say, hey, you know what? At least you are practicing what you preach.
Right. As long you're walking the walk, at least. Yeah, I would again like kind of like with the occasional cortex situation. I would at least say like, all right, at least you're being consistent.
Yeah.
And living to meeting like your own standards, as it were. But she hasn't done any of it.
And she won't either, because she actually doesn't give a shit about she doesn't give a shit about those people, and she knows the truth about like what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, because like the crime rate, like all the cities and little towns that migrants have come into, like the crime has spiked.
Yeah.
And that's not racist. That's just fact.
And that's just of the reported crimes.
Right, and that's just of the reported crime. And that's not even the crime that's being covered up by the government. So I mean, yeah.
Have we just gone? Has the world just gone like crazy? I can't. The way, I literally, it pains me to watch the news now, because it's not even like actual reporting anymore. Like, yeah, before it was like, yeah, there was some bias, and you could tell like there was bias, or stuff like that, or but at least there was some, what I felt like was some reporting. Now it's opinion articles that are
it's just all opinion, and it's all feelings. Like, oh, I feel like our country has lost its a sense of itself ever since Trump came into office. And it's like, where are the facts? Where's the statistics that like they say like Trump's a dictator or he's tyrannical. It's like, well, especially like and he's like and he's so hostile to the press. It's like, yeah, but has he like how many news outlets has he shuttered? Has he forced to close down?
Zero.
Zero. None.
And
CNN is still on. CNN is still like broadcasting. MSNBC is still broadcasting. ABC, CBS, all of them. NPR is still able to put out a shitty blog every other day. So so how exactly is he attacking free speech?
They should be kissing his ass, because they wouldn't have any goddamn ratings. They would have shut the doors.
And it's like
not giving them ratings.
Right, and it's just like, all right, it's like, what are you guys gonna do after Trump? That's the real big question for all media, even like for Fox News, because Fox News you know,
Well,
for all.
whoever, if there's another Republican that comes in after Trump, oh well, he's Mecha Hitler. It's the
I know,
super
yeah,
Mega
because they
Hitler.
blew their wads. They like all the media, like they blew their wads with Trump. Like, because there's no, because are you saying that like the next, like let's say that Mike Pence becomes the next president after Trump, and it's like, oh, so you're saying that he's Mega Hitler, or because there's no worse than Hitler. There's no worse than Hitler. So they blew their loads with Trump. They blew their loads, and it's like, oh yeah, well he's super double mega Hitler. It's like, no. That's how they're gonna call the next guy, super mega Hitler.
Did you ever play Wolfenstein 3D?
Not 3D. I played the old DOS one, but not the 3D.
Oh shit. Okay. Well, anyway, so yeah, Wolfenstein 3D. Obviously the last boss is Hitler, but he's in this mecha suit, like in and so, this is what I expected. It's like what is he like? It's gonna be like the next. It's super mecha Hitler, and he's got a machine gun arm, and it's like, oh my god, it's like. I mean, that's what I imagine is. How do you go?
No, I mean that's yeah, because again, they blew their wads with Trump because like they could never like because there's nothing because it's like because like there's nothing worse than Hitler.
I'm gonna pull up. I'm gonna find that picture. I'll send it to you. It's just it's like right.
Yes. I want to see this.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean it's just so ridiculous. And I mean like and again like after Trump, it's like what like their ratings are gonna go to shit because of what the hell are they gonna talk about?
Well, and I think it was Ben Shapiro was saying it's like it's we're gonna get to a point where it's like you remember that Trump guy? Oh man, it was such a better time with he was such a good Republican. Why can't we have more like him? And it's like well the new Republican guy is the new evil.
Right. I mean that's what happened to George Bush. That's exactly what happened with George Bush.
Yeah.
Because like back when he was president and stuff, everyone hated him. They vilified him. But then after Obama and now with Trump, it's like, oh man, George Bush was so great. He did so many great things it's like you basically called him. I mean, you did the same thing with Trump. You called him Hitler.
I mean, they've been doing this for a long time. I mean, they did it with Reagan. They did it with George H.W. Bush. They called him a doofus, and he's.
I mean, they did it with Mitt Romney.
Who?
Like like white bread with 3 different kinds of mayonnaise. Mitt Romney.
Yeah.
So
I laugh, but it's like I laugh so I don't go insane because it's I feel like am I taking crazy pills here? Yeah. It's
right. Yeah. But it's kind of getting back to the original story with that actor guy Jesus.
Yeah. But the media the media is Zoolander. I mean they're doing all the same move.
Yeah.
Calling it different shit.
No, exactly. But it goes back to it kind of boils down to like this, the only acceptable form of racism nowadays is racism against white people.
Or Jews.
Yeah, okay. But then still like
conservative Jews at least.
Because the non-practicing Jews, they're
they tend to be very left.
Yeah, they're one of the, it's like they're one of them. But Yeah, I mean, the only acceptable form nowadays of racism is racism against white people. And I mean that, and it's by design, to be honest. It's by design because uh, what is it? White males are statistically more likely to vote, for smaller government, and the second highest demographic is white females.
Yep.
So yeah, so to the big government, left, they're a threat. So they have to be vilified. They have to be taken down. They have to be unpersoned. They have to be they have to be the new Hitler, the new KKK. So uh, this anti-white rhetoric is really by design.
Well, is it even you know in last week, with all the Covington stuff going on, you had the God, I forget what her name was, but she said one of the most asinine things ever with like, oh, those MAGA hats. They're the,
Oh yeah,
it's so
that
triggering.
Angelica
Like
Rye.
they are the new KKK hoods, and it's like, are you fucking kidding me? Like
Yeah,
really?
that Angela Rye chick. Man, it's like, girl, you
Yeah.
got problems. You need therapy. It's like I am triggered all the time now, and it's like I can't go outside my house because I see the red MAGA hats, and it's just like the KKK hoods, and it's like, bitch, get some help. All right,
Seriously.
if I was there, I slap her across the face and like, get a hold of yourself.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot, there's so many bigger things that in this world, that you have to deal with. It's like a stupid hat shouldn't be one of them.
Yeah.
And it's like, and the phrase is so innocuous: "Make America Great Again." So, are you saying that you do not wish to make America great? Like, and I'll grant you, like, in whatever way you want, not just like the conservative way or the Trump way, but in your own unique way. Do you not want to make America great again? So how can you find offense to that slogan, which isn't even unique. It's not new. Reagan used it
Yeah.
way back when.
Well, remember, yeah, people don't want to, they don't think there's anything before the time that they were born, for one. But then you also have people who've bought into this, global multiculturalism, world without any borders, horseshit that doesn't work.
Yeah, I blame John Lennon. The stupid Imagine
Yeah,
song.
which is one of the most overrated songs of all time.
It really is. Yeah, imagine these nuts, John Lennon.
The well, I'm gonna say something. Well, I mean, we say a lot of unpopular things, but I'll say something unpopular musically. I think the Beatles are overrated. I'm not saying that they didn't put out hit after hit. I'm not saying that like all their music's bad, but I think they're overrated.
Yeah, and partly I think it's like the only reason I think they get so much praise is because John Lennon was murdered. I think if he wasn't murdered, I think like the Beatles would not be as regarded as they are.
You think that's the reason why they're still like so highly regarded? Because they were pretty. I mean, they were up until the point that they separated as a band. I mean, they were big.
Right, but like they basically they basically
They
like
made John Lennon John Lennon essentially became a martyr.
right, no, but like they basically deified John Lennon.
True.
Like there's like that there's like the memorial, like at the in the park where he got shot and everything. It's like everyone fucking loves John Lennon because they thought he was like this great person. He was he was kind of a piece of shit. Like he was very like controlling. Like, I mean, again, this is an unpopular view.
Hot
You know,
take right
and
now.
it you know, and I understand. I still like the Beatles. I think I still like the music, but John Lennon was kind of a piece of shit. He was very he like there are multiple stories of him being like being a complete asshole to Yoko Ono, and I know Yoko gets a raw deal for breaking up the Beatles or whatever, but yeah,
she cannot sing whatsoever. Oh,
I know.
it's cringeworthy.
Yeah, and and her so-called art. There's a clip of her like there was like she did this kind of performative piece where she allowed people to come and snip like pieces of clothing off of her while she was wearing it, and then it got to the point where like and she would not react. And the thing was like she wouldn't react. So like people would come and like snip like bits of her sweater and her skirt and everything. And it got to the point where she was like basically in her underwear. And then a guy came finally to kind of as a troll move went and like snipped her like bra straps. And then it was that she wouldn't and the whole thing was like she wouldn't move. But when he did that, like the bra was gonna fall, she intervened and she like covered herself. I was like, oh, you fucking faker, you fucking you're a fucking piece of shit. Because if you're really again, because this is like all postmodern bullshit. It's supposed to be about like the control, like something to do about control and like a woman's body and da 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 da.
Oh,
of course, and it's like, but you failed because you took control of you took control of your body and you prevented the bra from falling down. So you're like I think like the whole thing was about how like women don't have control over their bodies or whatever bullshit. Like, but bitch, you intervened. You stepped in and you prevented the bra from falling down and from revealing yourself. So you failed.
Oh my God.
You failed.
Oh Jesus Christ!
Yeah, and I mean, I only saw that because I was in art school, and because people were like, kind of talking up Yoko Ono, and I'm sure she's a very nice person or whatever, but as an artist, she's a fucking idiot.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Exactly. And you thought we wouldn't laugh this episode.
But I will say, I think the other thing that makes the Beatles so highly regarded, because they were kind of like that first like British invasion band too,
Yeah.
and of those British invasion bands, to me, The Who is the best. But that's
more personal
just my
taste.
opinion. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
They were
also
great.
like the Rolling Stones, they were like contemporaries, and I think Rolling Stones are just as good.
Yeah, I mean the Rolling Stones they have, I would say, but see, here's the thing with the Rolling Stones too. Like I do like their music too. Like they have some really good songs, but I don't know, man. The Who is just they were of that British invasion, but they're so different from the other two bands.
Mm. Yeah, I mean the Who, they were a lot more experimental.
I mean, hell, my favorite musical artist is Frank Zappa, so I'm a contrarian.
I know you're a contrarian for sure. But I mean, I'll give the Who like they were a little bit more experimental. And
they had one of I think arguably the best drummer in music.
Okay.
Well, he's dead now, but.
Well, I mean, I would argue that Def Leppard's, no, Iron Maiden. Which one did they have? Like, which band had the one-armed drummer?
Oh shit.
Was it Def Leppard or Iron Maiden? I always get that confused.
I have to look that up. Yeah, because I think like you, I get it. I get that mixed
up. Yeah, I'd have to give it to that guy as the best drummer ever.
Can't argue with that. That's some skill if you're doing it with one hand.
Exactly.
I have to look that up. All right, let's
All right, so let's I guess we could
let's end
let's
on a
wrap up
good
that
note.
last story so we can get on to the last bit. But
Yeah.
yes, the attack was horrible, but the politicization of it was more gross, in my opinion.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, obviously, I want him to. I want that actor. I want him to recover. I want him to, have some justice with these people
Hmm.
getting caught and
Right.
convicted for what they did because it's awful.
Hmm.
Um, but the fact that everyone tried to make something out of it is pretty disgusting,
Yes.
and that that is what I see is that's the problem with the media nowadays is everything has to be some sort of political. Oh, how can we exploit this? How can we make it something? How can we get our ratings up by doing this?
Exactly. Yeah, and I think that that's what makes this whole thing gross. Not that this guy was attacked, and maybe and yeah, maybe it was by some shitty white people, but to immediately jump to the conclusion that they were Trump supporters or they were somehow vestigially connected to Trump makes it disgusting. And
Yeah,
I hope and it's too bad that they did not learn from the whole Covington thing because now all these outlets have to make major retractions.
yeah,
Because like like the kids they lawyer it up that one lawyer from L.A. who's representing some of those kids, not the main kid Nick Sandman, but like some of the other kids. But he was like going hard on them on Twitter, saying like, "Hey, you have 48 hours to make a retraction because you're basically bullshitting, or we will file suit." And a lot of the outlets are making really big retractions, and so
and they should, and because honestly, I think they should be sued into oblivion.
true, yeah,
And I'm not, and I'm for one. It's like I think we are too sue happy in this country, but this is a legitimate reason to
right.
sue.
This is like this is one of those cases where it's completely warranted, merited. Uh, yeah,
Yeah,
it's very well deserved.
Yeah, they need to be held accountable for
Exactly,
what they're saying.
exactly. All right, let's land this thing. Let's land this plane, and let's get into what you want to talk about is the Bumblebee movie. This isn't
Yeah,
an official or legit review, but Robert and I both agree that this was the best Transformers movie, uh, probably after Transformers the animated movie.
yeah, yep. I was just gonna say that.
Yeah,
Because that
yeah,
movie,
it gets me
I watched
every
that.
single time.
Oh God, I cry every time. Yeah, it's
I
like
know,
God
right?
damn it,
Freaking
Optimus.
Optimus Prime.
That was so shocking. Seeing that, like I did
Yeah.
not expect that
I
at
know, and
all.
I saw it as a young child, and I'm just like, I'm watching my hero die here, and I'm just like, oh my god.
Yeah, man. Anyways, so I had for you guys that don't know my girlfriend, she lives in China right now, so we had to do a kind of
China.
date by proxy, as I like to call it. So we both watched the movie at the same time. She really wanted to watch Bumblebee, which um, obviously I'm a huge Transformers fan. I love the Transformers, but the Michael Bay films have been mediocre at best to fever dream awful. I think it's a good way to describe it.
Fair,
And
yeah.
um, and so I saw the trailer for Bumblebee, and I was like, oh God, I don't know if I wanted to watch this. And when she suggested to watch, I was like, I kind of was dragging my feet. It's like I don't really want to see this movie, but she wanted to see it, so hey, you know what? I manned up and I watched it. And
Whipped.
it's true. Hey,
I'm just kidding.
it's true.
I'm just kidding.
It is.
No,
what it
but
is.
I mean, I was in the same boat as Robert because I've said it before, but whoever cut the trailer for Bumblebee should be fired because it made it look like it made it look like a coming of age movie. Like a young girl, coming into her own, becoming a woman. It's like, ah.
Yeah, it looked terrible.
Yeah, it
I
looked
was like,
horrible. It didn't look like an action like sci-fi adventure, but it's the Transformers that we deserved, especially
Yeah.
after the Michael Bay era.
So, but anyways, yeah, I'm watching this and I was like, God damn, this is like actually good. I was shocked because I mean, it's not completely um what's the word I'm looking for? God, I hate when we do this. I always like I know these words and then I forget what the
Yeah, you just put on the spot. So
yeah. Uh, it doesn't follow the like the original like animated series,
right,
super closely, but it's damn close, and
right, and
it's
we actually got legit, you know, Generation One Transformers like
yes,
Starscream and Soundwave. And they actually
yeah.
look like their Generation One counterparts, and I was like,
And I
oh
was
my,
like, oh,
and
thank
and Optimus Prime did not have a mouth. Thank God for that.
I know. It was like, fuck, finally. Like
Yeah,
it's
I mean, I won't like. I'll admit like the idea like of how is like that's actually a battle mask. Okay, I could accept that. That's a pretty cool idea. But when I grew up, Optimus Prime did not have a mouth.
he didn't.
And I'm so glad that I'm glad they went with like the flat nose big rig instead of the Mack truck with like the snout.
Yeah, I know. I was very happy with that. It was like, oh, thank God. And all the acting I thought was really decent.
Mm-hmm.
The main character, what the hell was her name?
Haley Steiner.
Charlie. Yeah, Charlie, and
yeah, but the actress herself, Haley Steiner, she won me over in True Grit. So I know what she's capable of.
That's right. I thought I recognized her. Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So I saw her. I watched True Grit, and she held her own with the likes of Jeff Bridges and Josh Brolin.
That was actually a good remake, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. It was a really good remake. Well done. And she was able to hold her own with such veteran actors.
Yeah,
she won me over since from that movie on. I'm just like Haley Steiner sold. Even if it like wasn't in like the most, or it wasn't, even if she wasn't in like Oscar worthy kind of projects, like I would still kind of be like give the movie benefit of the doubt. It's like, oh well, Haley Stein's in it, so she'll probably kill it.
Yeah. So yeah, I think the story was good, the acting was good. It was Generation One Transformers, so I'm in on that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was set back in the 80s, like it was supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really looking forward. I'm hoping that there's more because I think this is
so, like within like that continuity.
right.
Yeah,
And
I thought, I mean, Bumblebee was supposed to be kind of like a prequel because it does kind of lead up into the first Michael Bay Transformers movie. When instead of like a bug, kind of spoiler alert, at the end, when Charlie and Bumblebee are parting ways, he decides to take on the Camaro form.
yeah,
and that's the what kind of segue into the Michael Bay Transformers. This universe, I hope they what is it, develop it more and spread out in this continuity as opposed to the Michael Bay continuity. Sorry.
yeah. It's just but I was just surprised. I was blown away. I was like, where I walked away, I was like, I'm glad I watched this, and I would have never thought that this was going to be any good.
Right, yeah, and again, the guy who cut the trailer should be fired.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna end my last thoughts on this too. Speaking of another, kind of badly cut trailer for a movie that I recently watched. I finally saw the movie Split. Within the last week. And when that trailer first came out, and because I'm no fan of like the horror slasher films, and that's kind of what I thought Split was going to be, the way that the trailer was cut.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea that it was part of it was connected to Unbreakable or the new movie until the new movie Glass came out, and so I went back. I watched Unbreakable. I watched Split, and I had to say that is one of the. It's definitely my favorite M. Night Shyamalan film now. It surpassed Sixth Sense for me, and it has one of the most dynamic acting performances I've ever seen in recent films. James McAvoy kills it in that film.
Yeah, he does. I mean, for myself, I would still consider Sixth Sense to be my favorite Shyamalan movie, but the Split is right there, like right behind it.
And
it partly again has to do with James McAvoy's performance because it's like he totally brings it for each of like the personalities. He's fully committed, and just like. And you actually believe that these are actually like separate personalities.
Yeah, it's like he's got different voices for all of them. The way that he walks, and I mean, it's just I was blown away because it's man, I would have never. Yeah, and I was just when I was watching, it's like, how the fuck did I miss this movie? This is the type of movie that I really like, where it's kind of it messes with your head, and you start to like you think, oh, he's just a crazy person, which he is, but you almost feel bad for him in a way.
Right. Well, to be fair, this was after Split came after a string of Shyamalan turds.
Oh god. Yeah,
so
that's true.
the kind of wary nature of the audience can be forgiven. I think.
Well, I actually when that trailer came out, I guess I had forgotten that it was an M. Night Shyamalan film. Like I thought it was just kind of like one of those. Like I said, I thought it was going to be like some slasher horror film, and that's just not my cup of tea.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I saw the trailer for Glass, I was like, wait a second, isn't that the guy from Split? And then when I did some digging, I was like, they're connected? Oh, I didn't know this. I didn't know M. Night Shyamalan did Split.
Yeah, I mean, if you had seen Split, you would have seen the end credit scene, and you would have saw the connection.
I think that was the twist, though. At the end, was that it was connected.
Yeah.
But that's I haven't seen Glass yet. I'm gonna try to see that this week.
It's a good one. I saw it. It's a good one.
So I'm probably gonna do that this week. But oh man, I was just 2 movie surprises. Bumblebee, good. Split, really good. So yeah, kind of impromptu, unofficial Nocturnal Transmission movie review.
Yes.
Go see them.
Right. All right. Okay, just before we get out of here, don't forget that we will be starting up our movie reviews again next week. It'll be a theme month, and given given that it is February, and I mean the only kind of pseudo holiday in February is Valentine's Day. We won't be doing sappy romance or chick flicks. We're gonna do we're doing off-brand Valentine's movies. So kind of like where
Fucked up love movies.
yeah, fucked up love stories. And if you guys want to get in on it, we'll be watching, for the first one, we'll be watching Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, starring Jim Carrey and Kate Winslet.
Oh.
So yeah, if you guys want to, join the live chat and tell us what some of your comments. You're more than welcome to join in on the review. So just watch by next week. Watch Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, and wait till next week, and we can have a nice review / discussion of that movie.
Yeah, we'd love to get your thoughts and or feel your pain in watching the film.
Right? Yeah.
We can suffer together. I'll make sure to I'll definitely have a beer in hand the next few weeks after watching some of these movies.
Yeah, I'll crack open those little mini shots of tequila behind me.
Yeah.
But so look forward to that. All right, we're gonna call it for tonight. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to join us every Tuesday night, 8 p.m. ish. For Nocturnal Transmissions. Don't forget to also check out the library of other shows that we have. The main podcast, this show, Nocturnal Transmissions, and also Robert's show, Up by Up Down. Don't forget to follow us on our various social media accounts. Twitter @PodcastCOJ and Instagram @Circle of Jerks Podcast. All right, and that'll do it for us tonight. And we will see you next week.